What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. This time, we're just going to go right into it. It's a long video, so please bear with me. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, all that good stuff. Help your boy out. You know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, oh, sweet Jesus.
Hello, everybody.
Fancy meeting you here. Come
There we go.
X, are you okay? This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
And he's got this. I got this cool chain he's got.
So thank you very much. We had a busy day today. The king just left, and we've had a great discussion, terrific discussion concerning Gaza and everything else. We had discussions also about Saturday at 12 o'clock. It's going to be a big moment. We'll see what happens. I don't expect much happening with these people, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to be signing a very important deal today. It's DOGE, and I'm going to ask Elon to tell you a little bit about it and some of the things that we found, which are shocking. Billions and billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think it's very important. And that's one of the reasons I got elected. I said, we're going to do that. Nobody had any idea it was that bad, that sick, and that corrupt. And it seems hard to believe that judges want to try and stop us from looking for corruption, especially when we found hundreds of millions of dollars worth, much more than that, in just a short period of time.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, Trump. I'm not surprised that they're trying to stop you. I'm really not. When you think about the fact that they literally try to use the justice system against him for a long time, to the point where even the charges in Atlanta that was brought against Trump, literally before that came into play, Fonnie Willis and the mayor of Atlanta literally met with Kamala Harris before all the charges came to be. You have Letitia James literally running on the fact that she's going to get Trump. Vote for me, pick me, choose me for this job because I'm going to put all of my effort towards getting Trump. I'm going to do anything I can to make sure that we don't get Trump again. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised you're surprised, though.
We want to weed out the corruption.
Got my
And it
coffee.
seems hard to believe that a judge could say, we don't want you to do that. Well, so maybe we have to look at the judges because that's a very serious, I think it's a very serious violation.
I agree.
I'll ask Elon Musk to say a few words and we'll take some questions. Elon, go ahead.
Sure. So the at a high level, if you say what is the goal of DOGE and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, okay, X, we would have to, if you sorry.
Kids will be kids, man.
Difficult sometimes. If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have?
Correct.
If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large unelected bureaucracy.
I agree.
This is not to say that there are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And
we, the people, all right? That's pretty much what it comes down to. We voted for this man so he can be able to do certain things, and that includes fix our federal budget. That includes cost savings. Cut down on all these unnecessary things. It's crazy because, like, as an individual, we are responsible for our own budgets, and we have to make sure that we take care of all these things. And if you go a little bit too much or you do too much, the IRS is coming for you and they're ready to audit you and all this stuff. But we can't do that to the federal government. They can just spend money, our money, however they want. Nah, we don't have the time for that. And all of these people that are like, oh my God, this is such a terrible thing. Elon Musk has all this power. He can do all these things. And say, yeah, that's a good thing. That's a phenomenal thing. Y'all are not complaining because it's Elon Musk. Y'all are complaining because now all of a sudden there's accountability about to be held. You can't just keep raising taxes forever on people anymore and then say, "Oh, well, it's because we really need it." What, to fund trans transgender Sesame Street episode for Iraq? That you really needed the money, right? That is absolutely a necessity. Stupid.
And so,
I think that's going to be my catchphrase from now on. Stupid.
and if you looked at this, if you looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it's not. It does not match the will of the people. So it's just something we've got to fix. And then we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit, and if we don't.
Can I just say, it's kind of nice hearing someone in like just talk about the fact that we have a deficit and like trying to address it. Like, you hear a lot of politicians, like even Biden, talking about, oh, Trump is gonna increase the deficit, and and all these news stations, oh, he's gonna increase the deficit. No one ever just talks about, hey, what can we do to reduce it? It's fascinating, isn't it? It's crazy to, as an American, where credit card debt is such a large, substantial thing in America for consumers, and yet our government operates just exactly the same. Irresponsible, don't pay off their debt, all these things, all these stereotypes. It's crazy.
Do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense, but and if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really want to say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of debt.
And also, could you mention some of the things that your team has found, some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about 30 million?
Oh,
Right.
there we go.
Well, we
That's the good
do
stuff.
find it sort of rather odd that
I might make this into like a two-part type thing because we're already running like 9 minutes in already. I don't want to make it long.
there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth
Correct.
while they are in that position,
Which is wild. Like, all the talk about, oh, Trump and his rich friends. It's like, nah, y'all got a lot of money, man. Y'all got a lot of money. It's insane that, you know, I've heard people say that originally the presidents would be people who ran businesses, who had good ideas, and they would take some time away from their businesses and they would just establish those ideas on like a national level. And then everyone benefits, the country moves forward, and then they just go back to doing their businesses. It's very weird that we have these people in power their entire lives. That is weird. What other nation do you know where someone is just in power just perpetually forever, and they're not like the main person running the nation. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no, we just and that's the thing that really gets me with like the whole Doge people being young. It's like these people just don't want to give us the ability to do anything. They just want everything for themselves. They want all the power, they want all the responsibility, but they don't want the accountability. We can't hold our government accountable, but our government refuses to let other people who do want to be held accountable to be able to come into power. There's no reason these people should be doing this for their entire lives. That is wild, man.
Which is, what happened to USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But just there seems to be mysteriously they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where does it come from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense. That's
Yeah.
the
Yep.
honest truth of it. So
Insider trading, all that stuff. We know
we're
about
looking
it.
at say, well, we just if you look at say Treasury, for example, basic controls that should be in place that are in place in any company, such as making sure that any given payment has a payment categorization code, that there is a comment field that describes the payment,
Hmm.
and that if a payment is on the do not pay list, that you don't actually pay it. None of those things are true currently.
That is wild. Can you imagine working for a company where you're in charge of these things and you don't do your job properly and you just continue to keep your job anyway? Can you imagine just the smallest things, just the simplest things, not doing it well, and everyone is like, "Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. Oh, you're paying this guy to this company to clean the snow from the parking lot, and you continue to pay him up till the summertime and up to the fall. What? There's no snow, but why do we keep paying this guy? That is wild, and it just shows the lack of competency in our government.
So the reason that departments can't pass audits is because the payments don't have a categorization code. It's like just a massive number of blank checks just flying out the building. So you can't reconcile blank checks. Um, you've got comment fields that are also blank, so you don't know why the payment was made.
I love the fact that he just said that because personally, in my daily job, I always recommend to people that when it comes to dealing with customer issues digitally, you give it a subject that is consistent. So basically, if you ever have to go and look back and see how many of these specific types of issues we've dealt with, all you have to do is look up the subject and it will show you everything, all of those different things together, right? And then you can just go through each one and see exactly what the difference is as far as like how you handle the issue. But then you can also kind of find like a uniform way to handle that specific issue based on what successes you've had. So the fact that they're not even doing any of this type of stuff at all, and it's just like, oh, just give money, give money, give money. Here, you go ahead and get this. Here, you go ahead and get this. Government contracts is wild, and this is not even their money. Like I can't imagine someone giving me money and saying, "Hey, I want you to do well with my money," and I'm just like, "Oh, let's just spend it however we want to spend it. Let's just go ahead and do that." Irresponsible.
And then we've got this truly absurd, a do not pay list, which can take up to a year for an organization to get on a do not pay list. Um, and this, we're talking about terrorist organizations, we're talking about known fraudsters, known aspects of waste, known things that do not match any congressional appropriation, can take up to a year to get on the list. And even once on the list is not used.
So we just got confirmation that they've been paying terrorist organizations too, huh? Hmm.
It's mind-blowing.
No wonder all this illegal migrant stuff is like making them so upset.
So what we're talking about here, we're really just talking about adding common sense controls that should be present, that haven't been present. So you say like, well, how could such a thing arise? That seems crazy. When you understand that really everything is geared towards complaint minimization. So then you understand the motivations. So if people receive money, they don't complain, obviously. Um, but if people don't receive money, they
They
do
do
complain.
complain. Absolutely.
And the fraudsters complain the loudest and the fastest. So uh, then when you understand that, then it makes sense. Oh, that's why everything just, they approve all the payments at Treasury. Because if you approve all the payments,
No one
you don't
complains.
get complaints.
And no one wants to deal with
But now,
complaints.
now we're saying that no, actually, we are going to complain. If money is spent badly, if your taxpayer dollars are not spent in a sensible and frugal manner, then that's not okay. You
So now that he's mentioned that, I kind of want to address something or just put my input into something. A lot of people are like, well, why is Elon Musk doing this? Why is he doing Doge? What is he looking for? What is he hoping to gain? In 2021, I believe it was 2021, Elon Musk paid like $11 billion in taxes personally. And that's just for that year. Okay, so that was like a one time, just that one time $11 billion in taxes. If you pay that type of money towards your government, wouldn't you be interested into like how are they spending it? Like the idea of the taxes, um, generally, I believe, stems from like the 10% with the Bible. The Bible tells you that you should give 10% towards the things of God. The idea is that 10% is going to go towards upkeep of the church, maintenance, helping the poor, things of that nature. But originally, it used to be from a perspective of if you have a lot and you just allow the poor people around you to be able to just get a little bit, you eat a meal and you have some leftovers from like a giant meal because all your rich friends and you do all this stuff. The food is still good. Give a little bit to the poor. And then everyone benefits. The poor people don't feel like they have to rob you as the rich person. The poor people feel taken care of, and they also value you as the rich person. It's kind of like the same idea of like you're living in a neighborhood as a rich person, and you might want to take some money, give it to the city so the city can fix the roads, right? So, and being from Philadelphia, potholes is a is a thing. Um, so in that sense, you benefit because your nice expensive car doesn't have to get damaged from some potholes, but then everyone else benefits as well. So this is what the tax dollars should be going to is handling these type of issues that everyone benefits. So if you take $11 billion from me and you do absolutely nothing to benefit any of the people around me, any of the people in the community, any of the people in my city, any of the people in my state, any of the people in my country, and you just give all that money overseas to whoever, however you want to do it, and then you may be getting some cutbacks because you give them that much money, and then they give you a little bit, and then you guys are all happy, but nothing gets done. I will be completely pissed off. So I completely concur and I completely understand exactly what he's doing, why he's doing it. He's not even receiving a paycheck, by the way, from doing all of this. But as someone who has a lot, having the government take so much from you and then do absolutely nothing with it other than make themselves richer, that is a problem. But with that said, I think I'm going to cut this part now. We're almost 20 minutes in. If you guys like the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Another part coming. I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 or 3 parts because this is long. We're only 7 minutes in, but this is juicy. This is the good stuff. This is what I live for. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. No, don't make me look bad up in these streets. Thank you very much.